Yamunadhiravanachare Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Radha Madhava Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Shri Srimad-Bhagavatam Charana Ravina Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya Ashtottara Shri Goswami Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Gaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Govinda Jam Kuna Radha Kuna Giri Gauran Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Mathura Dham Ki Jai Shri Prahlad Lakshman Singh Dev Bhagavan Ki Jai Shri Radha Madan Ki Jai ISKCON BBD Founder Acharya Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembly devotees. All glories to the assembly devotees. All glories to the assembly devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. Nama Om. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschadhyadeshatarine. So, before we are going to continue hearing from the Bhagavad Gita, we will read from the Transcendental Diary of from His Grace Harishauri Prabhu. Whimsically, I opened in New York in July 10th of 1976. The family is right, Prabhupada said definitely. Family is intelligent. That you are rascal, why you are trying? Let him die peacefully. After all, you cannot protect. Why you give trouble at the time of death? You cannot protect. Your foolish attempt will not help him. This is the same philosophy that the animal is suffering, to kill him. So this is nonsense. Mercy killing, killing mercy. He laughed. Just see, the action is killing and that is his mercy. All contradictory. Killing by mercy. Mercy is killing. I related a controversial case I had recently read of in the newspaper. There is an example that's just going up to the courts now. There is one family. Their daughter was being supported by one machine. So one day they went in early and pulled out the plugs. So now they are being taken to the court. They stopped the machine because she had been in a coma for so long. So that's what they call mercy killing. They don't like the doctors just to keep them there uselessly. Rameshwara brought yet another perspective. But then they want to kill the old people. This mercy killing. They think that an old man is suffering, so let us kill him. Prabhupada shook his head. It is dangerous to die here. Sometimes the devotees like to mention outlandish things just to see Srila Prabhupada's reactions. Today Tamal Krishna chipped in with something he had seen in a movie. Not as dangerous as in Africa. There is one tribe that when a man becomes very old, they throw him on the roof and then eat him. Prabhupada said he also had heard of it. That is a feast, he said sardonically. And as if to top that, Rameshwara said, also the Eskimos, when a man gets old, if he is an Eskimo, then he has to go out into the icelands and wait for some animal to kill him. He cannot stay at home and be supported by the family. Too much burden. Bali Mardana added, because he is eating and he is not able to go and hunt. They sent them out to die. Prabhupada's final comment was perhaps the most chilling. The communists also, they will do. All old men should be killed. That time is coming. Turning to us with a smile, he added, don't become old. Changing the subject, Chayavana Swami asked about the resettlement of the Indian community all over the world. Is this part of Lord Chaitanya's plan to help spread this Vedic culture? Yes, Srila Prabhupada said. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order. That you speak the Vedic culture. That is India's mission. But these rascals are speaking technology. Still, he noted that because it is their culture, whenever a Swami arrives, Indians gather to hear. Unfortunately, unscrupulous men take advantage of this for their own ends. They know that these people, they are wanting something, so let us go and cheat. This is going on. Bali Mardana acknowledged that they were simply businessmen. Srila Prabhupada looked humbly over to us. So far I am concerned, I have not come here to cheat you, nor to gain. I have come to execute the order of my Guru Maharaj. I have no business to cheat you, neither to get something from you. As we moved around the lakeside, we met a woman and her dog walking the opposite way. Running freely, the muzzled dog barked in a threatening way. Rakshana, Prabhupada's traveling bodyguard, was a little ahead of us, and his saffron judo suit, with his bead bag in one hand and a cane in the other. He steered the dog away from Srila Prabhupada. At this, the woman shouted that he should leave the dog alone. Srila Prabhupada observed to us that she wasn't even supposed to have a dog in the park. Radha Ballabha sarcastically commented that the dog was her family, and Prabhupada added, dog's mother. Why don't you call in one word? I am dog's mother. I told him about a friend of my mother's who had kept a pig as a pet, carrying it everywhere in her arms and dressing it in a bow. Srila Prabhupada explained that psychology. The natural tendency is to get child, but child is killed and a pig is taken. dog is taken. This is their civilization. Tripurari Swami said, they say animal has no soul, therefore they can kill the cow and eat the meat. But when we say, what if I cut your dog's head off, they become very upset. Acharya Prabhupada said, why upset? It has no soul, kill it. Tamal Krishna couldn't resist telling a rather macabre story about a family and their pet dog. They were touring the world and they came to Hong Kong and they were carrying their pet dog with them also. So they went to one restaurant and they left their dog tied up on a leash outside the restaurant, because that is the custom in America. So they told the doorman, they pointed to the dog, just to take care of the dog. So anyway, then they went in and they had their dinner and they came out and the dog was gone. Anticipating the punchline, everyone was laughing, including Srila Prabhupada. They said, where is my dog? Tamal himself could hardly finish and we were virtually howling with laughter. And the man said, well, you pointed to him, we have prepared him for you. Everyone knows this story? You have heard the story? Yeah? You have never heard the story? You understood the story? Partially? A couple from America was in China or in Hong Kong. In Hong Kong. And they had a dog with them, their pet dog. And in America, here also usually, when you go into a restaurant, you leave the dog outside of the building, in front of the door. So they left their dog also, and they pointed with the finger to the dog, to the restaurant keeper, like, we leave him here. This is our dog. And then they went inside, and they had their dinner, and then they came outside, and the dog was not there anymore. And the restaurant keeper said, like, well, you pointed at him, so we prepared him for you. So everyone laughed, also Srila Prabhupada laughed. Very macabre, but it sounds like it's a true story. So it's not a fictional story. Yeah, it sounds like it really happened. And we can imagine it really happened. So, and what else is there interesting? Yeah, of course, people it's also interesting. People keep dogs, and at the same time they kill their own children. So they kill their own children, they don't have a child, but they have the urge to have a child, so they take a pig even or a dog. And at the same time they say the dog and the pig, they don't have soul. It's interesting. One party says animals don't have soul, and the other party keep dogs like their own children. So what's the truth now? So there's room for discussion now about this. And of course the beginning of it was the topic of old people in the society. So also pretty heavy. That the Eskimos, for example, I never heard that. I only heard it from this book, that the Eskimos, when they become old, the younger members of the family, they don't want to take care of them because it takes a lot of energy and food, of course, mainly to maintain or to take care of old persons. So instead of this, they send him out to die and being eaten by an animal. Pretty heavy, huh? You heard about this ever before, that Eskimos are doing this?
But the Vikings, they had to jump from a rock.
The Vikings? Really? All right. You see, Hare Krishna. It's amazing, huh? And actually, old people, they should be protected because they're wise. They are supporting the society with their wisdom. They have collected in their lives. So this is not at all Vedic, of course. Yeah. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Then we continue with the Bhagavad Gita. But I think we can continue in German, huh? Du sprichst Deutsch? Du sprichst auch. Und also English. Irina, you don't speak Deutsch, you only speak English. But everybody speaks English except Stas. You speak English. English is okay, huh? You try. Yeah, okay. Then everyone speaks English. Then we speak in English today. So we are reading from chapter number 5, verse number 21. It's really funny. Last week when I talked about the Bhagavad Gita, I just mentioned this verse in relationship to the other verse, and now it comes again. So, Haribol. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhayas parsheshu asaktatma Vindati atmani yatsukham Sabrama yoga yuktatma Sukham akshayam ashnute Bhayas parsheshu asaktatma Vindati atmani yat sukham Sabrama yoga yuktatma Sukham akshayam ashnute Bhayas parsheshu asaktatma Vindati atmani yat sukham Sabrama yoga yuktatma Sukham akshayam ashnute. Bhayas parshesu asaktatma Vindati atmani yat sukham Sabrama yoga yuktatma Sukham akshayam ashnute. Ladies? Bhayas parshesu asaktatma Vindati atmani yat sukham Sabrama yoga yuktatma Sukham akshayam ashnute. Okay. Bhayas parshesu in external sense pleasure. Asakta atma, one who is not attached. Vindati, enjoys. Atmani, in the self. Yat, that which. Sukham, happiness. Saha, he. Brahma Yoga, by concentration in Brahman. Yukta Atma, self-connected. Sukham, happiness. Akshayam, unlimited. Ashnute, enjoys. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. Purport. Sri Yamunacharya, a great devotee in Krishna consciousness, said, Yat abati mamacheta Krishna padara vinde Nabanabara sadhamani utyatam rantum asit tat abati batanari sangame smaryamane pavati mukha vikara shushtu nishtivanam cha. Since I have been engaged in the transcendent and loving service of Krishna, realizing ever new pleasure in him, whenever I think of sex pleasure, I spit on the thought and my lips curl with distaste. A person in Brahma Yoga or Krishna consciousness is so absorbed in the loving service of the Lord that he loses his taste for material sense pleasure altogether. The highest pleasure in terms of matter is sex pleasure. The whole world is moving under its spell, and a materialist cannot work at all without this motivation. But a person engaged in Krishna consciousness can work with greater vigor without sex pleasure, which he avoids. That is the test in spiritual realization. Spiritual realization and sex pleasure go ill together. A Krishna-conscious person is not attracted to any kind of sense pleasure due to his being a liberated soul. Vayasparsheshu asaktatma vindati atmani yat sukham saprama yoga yuktatma sukham akshayam ashnute. Such a liberated person is not attracted to material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. In this way, the self-realized person enjoys unlimited happiness, for he concentrates on the Supreme. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stapitam Yena Putale Swayam Rupa Agadamayam Tadhati Swapadadikam Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukham karoti vachalang, pangum langade karim, yat kripatam mahammadeshari gurum dinataranam, paramananda matavam, Shri Chaitanya Ishvaram. So thank you all for coming this evening to hear from the Bhagavad Gita. Just a few days ago, we already talked even about this very verse. Can anyone remember of you? Who was the person who Srila Prabhupada quotes in the verse? Anyone except Supal? We dedicated a whole evening lecture to this personality, because last week was his appearance day. Yes, Yamunacharya. And who was Yamunacharya? Yes, he was a great devotee. And a little bit more in detail, who was he? Anyone remembers? The only one who remembers is Supal? Really? It's the only one who... Huh? Somehow Balaram is connected, somehow, but really not exactly. What? Yeah, Stas? Something with Rama, yes, it's very good. It's becoming nearer. Becoming nearer. At least the name is the same. Supal, now you can say. It's the spiritual master of Ramanuja Acharya. We talked about the great Acharya, Ramanujacharya, who lived exactly, or who was born exactly 1008 years ago, last week on Wednesday. And his spiritual master, who he was very dedicated to, was Yamunacharya, who Srila Prabhupada quotes here with this very famous verse, that since I'm engaged in Krishna's transcendent loving service, I experience such a wonderful taste that when I think of sex pleasure, I just spit at the thought and my lips curl with distaste. It's a very, very nice and super verse, important verse, and famous verse. And in this verse again, it appears. So therefore, let us continue with our talking. Although we celebrated Lord Rama's appearance day, we celebrated Lord Rama's appearance day 2 days ago. But let us still dive a little bit into the pastimes of Lord Ram and Sita and Lakshman. In connection with this verse, now we hear here the greatest pleasure in the material world, which is avoided even by transcendentalists and especially devotees, is sex pleasure. It's even avoided, so they get a higher taste and they get a motivation from another dimension, so to say, and of another nature. So they are able to work with very great power for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for Sri Krishna. And the pleasure they derive from this service is so pure, so nice, so great, so inspiring, so that they even completely forget all material pleasure in form of sense gratification, including sex pleasure. But in a Ramayana, we find the personification of actually lust. Ravana is lust personified, so to say. And he showed also his inclination towards sex pleasure. We all know he kidnapped Sita, of course. Who does not know who is Ravana and who is Sita? Everybody knows. You don't know? Okay, very good. Then we have to tell something today. So, but you have heard about Lord Ram? No, not yet. We are chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Yes. That you have heard? Nice. So Lord Krishna is, of course, clear. Krishna is the name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Rama is another name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are speaking of the same personality. But Rama, as Prabhupada explains, it can refer to, as we heard, Balaram. It can refer to Lord Ramachandra. And also it can refer to Parashuram. It is, so to say, correct to think like this. So, and Lord Ramachandra's female consort, his wife, was beautiful Sita. And when they were alone in the forest, Ravana, he heard about Sita and her beauty. And because he actually represents lust, the greatest enemy in the life of a transcendentalist and of a devotee. We are advised by Krishna to conquer over lust. So Ravana represents this lust, and of course, he planned to kidnap Sita, and he managed even to kidnap Sita. But my question to you is now, did any one of you ever ask himself, why did Ravana not manage it to force Sita to become entangled with him in lusty affairs? So why did he not kind of abuse her? He wanted to enjoy her. So why did he not do that by force? Did any one of you ever ask himself this question? Or does any one of you even know the answer to this question?
He wanted that the woman wants.
Huh?
He wanted that the woman wants him.
He wanted that the woman wants him. Yes, of course. That is the case, actually. That was necessary. But he could have forced her. Even if she does not want him, he just could have kind of by force taken her. Why did he not do that? Any one of you knows? Other question? No one knows? So then now we have a super topic today, fitting to the purport by Srila Prabhupada, why he emphasizes so much the power of sex life. He did it already before. It's not that he has such a noble and good character that he would not think about raping a woman. He did it actually already before. When Ravana was traveling through the universe, he came to the heavenly planets where Indra rules, and we hear in the Krishna book about Nalakuvara and Manikriva. We all know Nalakuvara and Manikriva. Who does not know Nalakuvara and Manikriva? You don't know? You are honest. Very good. Also Stas, never heard. Okay, very good. So Nalakuvara and Manikriva, they are actually sons of Kuvera, the treasurer of the demigods. They are themselves demigods. And of course, that means they have a good material position. They are rich. They are born in an aristocratic family. They are beautiful. So they enjoyed their material life in this way, being blind to spiritual wisdom. And when they enjoyed in the heavenly planets, they were swimming in a lake with naked women, and Narada Muni, the great sage, came. And the women, they covered themselves, but Nalakuvara and Manikriva, they just continued, drunken as they were, to even speak with Narada Muni, in a very inappropriate way. And because of this inappropriate behavior, they were cursed by Narada Muni to become trees in the garden of Nanda Maharaj. And as a blessing, also simultaneously, they were destined to see Krishna face to face when Krishna would walk between these two trees and throw them to the ground with a mortar where he was bound to. So this is the very famous pastime. We know all that pastime. And these two demigods or great personalities, Nalakuvara and Manikriva, they also play actually a role in the Ramayana, because Nalakuvara, as the son of Kuvera, was married or had as his wife the most beautiful Ramba. And Ramba is described as like the most beautiful woman in the heavens. And we know that when on earth personalities are undergoing severe austerities in order to reach a goal, and when Indra becomes kind of afraid that this person might achieve his goal, he sends beautiful heavenly women to the earth in order to distract a person from his austerities. So we know the story of Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra was such a great, wise, austere personality. He underwent great austerities, and so great austerities that Indra, he already got afraid that he might become so powerful he could even become Indra. So in order to avoid this, Indra would send who? Who is the famous heavenly beautiful woman that Indra sent, who is mentioned also in the Bhagavad-gītā to Vishwamitra? Wonderful, yes, Menaka. So Menaka, she came from the heavens in order to awaken lust in Vishwamitra. And she did it. Vishwamitra and Menaka, they had a relationship with each other, they got even children. And after so much time spending together in lusty affairs, Vishwamitra, he understood what actually happened. He was distracted from the path of austerity and spiritual progress. And he regretted it so much that all these years, in heavenly pleasures with this beautiful woman, Menaka, fully just wasting in lust, So then he again took up the path of renunciation and austerities. So he did not give up. He just started again to practice austerity. But then Indra, again, he saw, now it's getting even more serious. And then after some time, Indra, he took the next step, and even a more heavy step. He sent an even more beautiful woman, and this was Ramba. And Ramba is the woman of Nalakuvara, the wife of Nalakuvara. And interesting also, that Ravana and Nalakuvara, they are kind of relatives. They are relatives. I don't know if they are really brothers, and Ravana is also a son of Nalakuvara, but something like that. So they have a relationship with each other. So Ravana, he visited the heavenly planets, and he also met Ramba. And when he saw Ramba, he was so overpowered by lust. He wanted to have her, like anything. And Ramba she was a good woman, and she neglected that completely, because actually they were relatives, because she was married to Nalakuvara, and Ravana was kind of they had a family relationship with each other. So Ramba was completely against this. She did not want this. But Ravana, he forced her. So in other words, he raped her in the heavens, in the heavenly planetary systems. So that was a big scandal, you could say, But he could do it, no problem for Ravana, because he was so powerful. Who could stop him, But when Nalakuvara heard about this, he could also do nothing against Ravana, because Ravana was so powerful. But at that moment, Ravana was cursed. I'm not sure if Nalakuvara cursed him or Ramba cursed him. One of these two, they cursed him, that if he would someday again try to abuse a woman, force her to have sex with him, his head would immediately be destroyed, and he would die immediately. So he was cursed like this. So therefore, when he kidnapped Sita, that's the reason why he did not force her. Although, of course, he would have done it. Why should he not do it? Because he's of such a good character? No. That was the reason, because he knew he would die. And therefore also it was necessary, as you said, that Sita voluntarily would accept him. So the answer was correct. He wanted her to do it voluntarily, but the curse is behind it. Not because he is such a noble character, but otherwise he would die. So there were many women in Ravana's place who tried to talk to Sita and convince her that she would voluntarily accept Ravana. But of course she did not do that, because she did not know anyone else than Ram, of course. So, but our story today continues with Vishwamitra. This same lady, Ramba, who is so amazingly beautiful, came the second time to Vishwamitra to stop him from his austerities. And she was even more beautiful than Menaka, you could imagine. But when Vishwamitra saw that Ramba is appearing in front of him, he immediately knew what's going on, and he gave lust no chance. He did not at all become lusty, but on the other hand, he became extremely angry. Because again, Indra would send such a beautiful lady to stop him from austerities. He became so angry, I think he even cursed Ramba or something like that. So then Ramba disappeared, but then he realized, this time I did not get lusty, but I became angry. And the same result. Because of becoming angry, he lost his spiritual power. But anyway, he continued. He got up and he again started with his austerities. And then Indra again, he started sweating in the heavens, so to say. He thought what to do now, And after so heavy austerities, after so much time of austerities, Vishwamitra he stopped, like after Ekadashi we are breaking the fast, one has to break the fast. So similarly, after his austerities, there was a moment when he stopped his austerities, when he wanted to take prasadam, when he wanted to eat. And exactly at that moment when he wanted to eat, Indra took the opportunity and he appeared as a small brahmana. And when Vishwamitra, after such great austerities, wanted to finally eat something, the brahmana came to him and asked him for some food. So, but Vishwamitra at that time, he immediately, without hesitating, just gave everything to the brahmana. So these three occasions, we see also which, or qualities, we see also which Krishna, these three things that appear in this pastime, in this pastime of related to the Ramayana, that is actually similar to what Krishna exactly explains 11 chapters ahead. In the chapter 16, same number of verses. Check the chapter 16, verse number 21. This famous verse is quoted by Krishna. Maybe someone of you knows. Maybe know the verse. 21, chapter 16. But you know the meaning? All right, yeah. Trividham narakasyadam, dvaram nashanam atmanaha, kamakrodhas tatalopas, tasmat etat trayam tyachet. Krishna says, there are three gates that are leading to hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give up these, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. Es gibt 3 Tore, die zur Hölle führen: Lust, Zorn und Gier. Jeder vernünftige Mensch sollte diese 3 Dinge aufgeben, denn sie führen zur Erniedrigung der Seele. So, and it's interesting, even the number of the qualities is the same like in the pastime of the Ramayana. First came Menaka and attracted Vishwamitra with lust, and she was successful. The second time came Ramba, and she did not manage to make Vishwamitra lusty, but he became angry. And the third time, the Brahmana came and challenged the greed of Vishwamitra. So much austerity, fasting so heavily, finally eating. We know that when we are hungry, we are coming back into the temple. I'm so hungry. Hopefully there is some nice prasadam here today, and then let's have a big plate, So there is the enemy, there is greed. But at that time, the Brahmana came and asked him, and he just gave everything to the Brahmana. So he successfully managed it. Lust, anger, and greed. And even the more important fact is we see in Vishwamitra in this pastime. He failed, but he did not give up. Menaka came, he went into the lust like anything. He realized it, he got up, and he just continued. He did not lament, I made a mistake, I'm not yet perfect, something happened, But he just got up and continued and continued. And finally, he was successful. His goal was to achieve the highest title in the universe, the title of a Brahma Rishi or a Brahmarshi. He wanted to do so great austerities that he would get this title from Brahma, the highest entity in the universe. And in the end, he achieved his goal. And this is so wonderfully relatable to this verse of the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna explains to us exactly these 3 things which Vishwamitra managed. We should all conquer. We should all take care of these things: lust, anger, and greed, because they lead to the degradation of the soul. They are the gateways leading to hell. So in this way we have a nice Leela from Ramayana related to this philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita. And we can also read that in Ramayana. It's very wonderful to read with all details. So in this way we have discussed this wonderful purport of Srila Prabhupada, where he especially talks about lust and sex desire. A devotee is conquering over this by experiencing a higher taste, and this is the path of Krishna consciousness. And in this way, he's even able to engage himself with even more strength and more power in his activities than any materialist. Hare Krishna. Okay, some words from my side. We have 2 minutes for questions or commentaries or a small discussion. Maybe someone would add something or ask something. No? Everyone agrees? Everyone knows this happening with Vishwamitra? Never heard about it before? Menaka, never heard before?
I heard about the trees, these 2 trees.
Yeah. Nalakuvara and Manakriva, yeah. It's also interesting that they are relatives. Ravana and Nalakuvara, they are relatives actually. Okay. Yeah, Supal has one thing.
It's another topic and a general question.
Oh.
But maybe from your own experience a little bit about maybe one of those gates to hell, how to deal with it when it comes up, or how to overcome it.
How to deal with the gates that are leading to hell? Well, one advice I was given once in a general lecture was to pray to the spiritual master. That, of course, that requires, first of all, you observe yourself, and you you see that the enemy is coming, and when the enemy is coming, to be careful. And practical advice in this regard is immediately, take shelter of your Guru Maharaj, say the pranam mantra of your Guru Maharaj. And where can this happen? For example, it can happen everywhere. Just, greet. When we are at the table downstairs and the prasadam is coming, when the plate is coming, it's like the enemy is coming. And the big plate is coming, when the cake is coming, the enemy is coming. Yeah, but you have, yes, the greed, there it is. But the question is, do you see it? Do you recognize it? Or do you just jump into it, and just go for it, Of course, then you cannot do anything. Then you are just in the middle, like Vishwamitra with Menaka. He was just into it for so many years in the heavenly planets, After some time he realized, and then he regretted it so much. So that we should be aware of, for example. He regretted it so much, just a waste of time and power and energy and all this, He regretted it so much. So we are also advised not to jump into this, but to see the enemy, to recognize the enemy, which means to observe yourself. And when you see lust, when you see anger, when you see greed, learn, be sober, Or one thing, for example, in Sankirtan, which I observed, which really works good, that when the mind is troublesome and an enemy is coming, like anger, like greed, like lust, you immediately pacify your mind. And one thing which really works good is immediately the transcendental sound vibration. Om. It's really good. Om is so powerful. And chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And again we concentrate Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. You take your mind like an arrow. Radha Ramachandra is the carrier of the bow and the arrows. Your mind is the arrow. You take the mind onto the bow, Om. You direct it to the target. Namo Bhagavate, and you shoot the mind to the target, which is Vasudevaya, to Krishna. And it's really powerful because Om is so nice, it's so wonderful, it's so powerful. Even if you are shortly before freaking out, if you are on the street, it's very easy to freak out, So many reasons every day are coming towards you why you have to freak out, But at a certain point you have to observe it and you have to realize it. And you say, wait a minute, Om, that's really powerful. And we are advised to do that actually. Srimad-Bhagavatam 2nd Canto, Prabhupada writes about the transcendental Om. Such a powerful sound vibration. Those transcendentalists who are at the beginning should start with Om. It's real, and it's so effective. And you can try it. Try it out. Next time, when we are in the prasadam room, you will all see all the bhaktas sitting down. Om. Huh?
This is a retreat.
It's a retreat. Yeah, it's very good. It helps to
I give for me
just
this
wait.
chance.
Yeah. To just check it out.
Retreat.
Yeah. Not jump.
Take
Not.
a break.
Yeah. Exactly. It's what it's doing. Yeah. And then Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Krishna, to Krishna. And then Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribol. Kandaraj, Bhagavad-gītā.
Dopamine or serotonin?
Yeah.
What I need, trust or beware?
Bhagavad-gītā ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai.